Hi, I'm Anonymous, and I'm a web developer. So I'm here to teach you basic HTML today. And now the first thing you're going to need is a code editor or a text editor. Now I'd recommend Visual Studio's Code. Visual Studio's Code is free and open source and available in most major operating systems. However, if you don't want to install anything, you can always use Notepad or another text editor. So once you've installed that, you're going to see a window like this. So now from here, you want to go File, Open Folder, and now select the folder you want to work in. Now, Visual Studio's Code is probably going to reload for you, and that's fine. But now that means you can access this folder and add items, etc. to it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a file and call it index.html. Now, index.html is a very important file in web development because it is the first file a web browser will open. Yeah, so that means so your home page will probably be index.html, or maybe your login page. It depends on what kind of a website you're building. So now in Visual Studio's Code, we've got a shortcut to create an HTML document, which is !tad. And now this sets up the body of the HTML document. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at the body tags today. We're just going to ignore all these other tags. Now the body tags are very important because the body tags are what we put all visual elements of the website in, whether that be images, text, heading, etc. They all go in the body tag. Whether the head tag is where we put JavaScript, HTML, and other assets, which I'll go into in more detail later. So now the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to add an h1 tag to the page. Now an h1 tag is a heading. So we're going to go hello world. And now if we open a web page, we'll see hello world in h1 in a large bold font. But let's just say you don't want to go and find the file and then click on it and open it and constantly refresh every time you want to see change. Well, there's a solution for you. So in Visual Studio's Code, we've got things called extensions. And now extensions add functionality to Visual Studio's Code, like my theme, they can spell check, or a live server. And that's what we're going to get. So in here, in extensions, you want to search a live server, and then you want to find the one by Rick Dewey. You want to go install it, and it might require a restart of Visual Studio's Code. Do that, and then it should work. So now once you've done that, you want to go back to Explorer, and then you want to click Open with Live Server. And now if you wait a few seconds, it will open with our HTML file all loaded. So as we see here, we've got hello world in an h1 tag. Now with h tags in general, we can go all the way down to h6. So that means if I wanted a smaller hello world, I could go h3, hello world, save, and smaller, with h6 being the smallest. But let's just say I wanted to add some text to my website, just some plain text. Well, then I'd use a paragraph tag, or p tag, and then go hello world. Now, most of your text will actually be in paragraph tags, so you probably want to memorize this tag. And now another tag that you probably want to use a lot is an a tag. Now, a tags contain links. So let's just say I wanted a link to another site, or my home page, or my login page. Then I'd have to put it in an a tag. Now, a tags are slightly different from the other two tags, because a tags are inline block tags, which means they don't start a new line every time we make one. So if I was to put another a tag right next to this one, it would go on the same line. And now the difference is P and H1 and H3 are all block elements, which means they start a new line regardless. Now you can use CSS to override this, but that's more complex and we'll do later. Now back to the link tag, or a tag. And now what we want to do is actually point this a tag to another website or file. So we add an href attribute, and then we add the location where we want to take the user when they click on it, which in this case is back to the same page. And we click on it and it reloads the page. Now another important tag you want to add is probably the image tag. Now the image tag is really important because it allows us to add images to a website. and we do img, backslash, and then close tag. Now note the img tag is different from the other two tags. It's called a self-closing tag, which means we only need one of it, and we close it with a simple backslash like this, as opposed to doing img, as opposed to doing something like that, which is wrong. So now with the image tag, we actually want to point our image tag to something, such as an image. So I've already added an image to my project. So we just go the image name and then .jpg and then and then the file extension. But let's just say we had this in another file, such as images. I'd simply add images/nature.jpg and it would work. Now you'll notice that this image is way too big currently. So I'm just going to show you another attribute, which we'll go into more detail later. It's the style attribute. And now the style attribute allows us to write CSS code directly on the tag. So let's just say width is 200 pixels and height is 200 pixels. Now we save that, and our image is shrunk to 200 by 200 pixels. So now another tag that you probably want to know is also the div tag. Now the div tag serves really well in actually breaking up content on our web page. So let's just say with Visual Studio's code, we could have a div for this one, a div holding all this information, div holding that information, etc., etc. So div tags really work by breaking up our content. So now, if we want to add a div tag, we go div, and that's how we add a div tag. And then we put our content inside, such as this. Now, that might not seem very useful at the moment, but when we learn some more CSS, div tags will come in incredibly useful because it allows us we can break up a web page into multiple sections and put different content there. Thanks for watching.